All right, today we're going to get into the really nitty-gritty clinical breakdown of what happens to your body during a high-velocity vertical impact. And look, this isn't about being sensational. We're talking about the cold, hard biomechanics. What happens when you're moving incredibly fast and then suddenly you're not? You've probably heard this one, right? It's that classic thought experiment, maybe from a movie or just a late-night chat. You're in a falling elevator. Can you jump at the very last second to save yourself? It's a cool idea, for sure, but how does it actually stack up against the real unforgiving laws of physics? Let's find out. Okay, first things first, let's just get a sense of the scale we're talking about here. The impact velocity in this scenario, 80 kilometers per hour. That's about 50 miles per hour. Just think about that. That's a huge amount of kinetic energy that has to go somewhere, and it has to disappear in a fraction of a second. So, let's get back to that jump. Can it save you? The answer, I'm afraid, is a hard no. It's a futile biological act against the absolute laws of physics. I mean, think about it. A human just can't jump fast enough to cancel out 80 kilometers per hour of downward velocity. Even if you're the world's greatest athlete, your jump might shave off, what, a few kilometers an hour? It's a tragically tiny difference. So yeah, the jump is a total mess. The real story, the one we're here to talk about, starts at the exact moment of impact. So to really get what's going on, we have to zoom in right down to millisecond 0, the very instant of the crash. And to do that, we need to pull back and look at one of the most fundamental laws in all of physics, something laid out by Isaac Newton himself. You probably remember this one from science class, right? An object in motion stays in motion. Well, in this horrible scenario, the ground is that unbalanced force he was talking about. It slams into the elevator, and through the elevator, it slams into your body. But, and this is so important, it's the key to everything that follows, it doesn't stop your whole body at the exact same time. And this is where things get truly, truly grim. There's this violent split that happens. The second the elevator floor hits the ground, your skeleton, your entire frame, comes to a dead, instantaneous stop. But your internal organs, your heart, your brain, your liver, they didn't get the memo. They're still obeying that law of inertia, and they just keep on going at 80 kilometers an hour right inside a body that has suddenly stopped moving. What you get is an internal collision, and the force is just unimaginable. So this internal chaos, this collision, it creates something called shearing forces. It's a terrifying concept. See, it's not just the external impact with the ground that's the problem. The truly catastrophic damage comes from what happens inside your body in those few milliseconds right after the impact. And one of the first, most immediate, and absolutely lethal results of these shearing forces is something called an aortic transection. We're talking about a complete catastrophic tear of the body's biggest and most important artery. Yeah, this quote really paints a picture, doesn't it? Your heart, it's a heavy, dense muscle, right? So it has a ton of momentum. As it keeps plunging downward inside your chest, the force is so violent that it literally tears the aorta right off the top. It just rips itself free. And the result is what you'd expect, massive instant internal bleeding. It's over in seconds. Now, another just devastating shearing injury happens right at the top of your spinal column. So your skull stops dead, but your brain, which is floating inside, keeps going and slams into the front of your skull. At the exact same time, that insane G-force causes the skull to violently separate from the spine. From the outside, the skin might look fine, but internally, the connection is just gone. It's called an internal decapitation. Okay, so while all that horrible stuff is happening to your soft tissues, your body's frame, your skeleton, is going through its own complete and total failure. This is what's known clinically as a vertical deceleration injury. And it happens from the ground up, like a terrifying chain reaction. First, the impact force hits your feet and your heel bones. The calcaneus bones, they don't just break, they basically shatter into dust. They offer zero resistance. That energy then drives your lower leg bones, the tibia and fibula, straight up, completely blowing out your knee joints. And then your femurs, which are the strongest bones in your body, get driven upward like pistons, destroying your hip sockets and just pulverizing your pelvis. Your entire lower body, it just collapses into itself. So at the end of the day, what does this all mean? It's pretty simple, really. Physics is absolute. The human body is not. You know, we think of ourselves as resilient, and we are. But we're just not built to handle these kinds of forces. We're fragile biological machines, and we're stuck playing by the same rules of physics that govern planets and stars. So the real question isn't about how to trick physics by jumping in an elevator. It's about having a profound respect for its absolute, and sometimes its completely unforgiving power.